just ready to tip here inside the Moda Center, and it is a sell-out crowd for the third time this season. Aaliyah Boston and Meg DeLeo getting ready to tip, and it is Indiana winning it in the Road Reds. Portland in their Rebel jerseys, which are black. And it is a blackout here in Portland, as I think it was a shot clock issue where it was down a couple of ticks, so they'll put 21 on the clock, and away we go with Caitlin Clark in command of the offense. Behind the back, Clark to Billings, and her shot is altered.
The Fever love to run that action to start the game. Great job from the Fire to combat, especially Carla Lade blowing up that handoff with Kelsey Mitchell.
Mitchell fighting over the dribble handoff, and now Late goes all the way to the rim, but leaves it short.
It's the right read, but you got to make that basket.
The Fever love to push. Billings gets it inside and is bumped by Carlton. But the pace is fast with the Indiana Fever. Stephanie White, the head coach of the Fever in her second year and her second stint with the Fever, fourth year overall. The 23 WNBA Coach of the Year with Connecticut. And then Alex Sarama, 31 years old, Portland's head coach, his first year in charge of the Portland Fire, this expansion franchise. They had a WNBA team back 2000 to 2003. Here's Boston, and she hooks it in for the first bucket.
How about the patience from Aaliyah Boston? Caitlin Clark, Nadia Potch is blowing up everything, so Aaliyah Boston makes that read, takes it straight to the hoop.
Here is Potch on the roll, loses the handle, but last touched by the Fever.
Great job by Potch blowing everything up, and Boston just takes it straight in the spin move on Meg DeLeo. That is an excellent read and excellent finish.
So a foul actually on the last play against Potch for pushing off. So the Fever will have it. And you can hear the crowd inside the Moda Center. I don't think they like that call, Asia.
Not at all.
Got about 19,000 officials here inside what they call the fire pit. And Lexi Hull, the Pacific Northwest product out of the Spokane, Washington area, drills the three.
Big adjustment for the Fever from that last matchup. They're doing a great job picking apart the Fire's defense.
On the bounce to the cutting late. Beautiful feed from Ingsler. Mitchell kicks it to Boston. She is shooting it at 47% this year from deep. Doesn't hit that one.
Great read here. You see Emily Engstler probing. How about the cut from Carla Lade? Caught Mitchell sleeping right there and just goes straight back door to the rim. So you credit Carla with the read and Emily Engstler with that pass.
The Portland Fire played one of their best games of the season, perhaps their best, when they beat Indiana here 100-84 a couple months ago.
And Alex Rama talked about it from that first matchup in Indiana versus that second one. The biggest adjustment was taking advantage of the switches, which they were able to do that. They got Caitlin Clark in a lot of target situations on the defensive end, got her in foul trouble, put her on the bench, and it completely disrupted Indiana's rhythm.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark had just 6 points in that matchup here in Portland, played 20 minutes and was in foul trouble. She had 5 personals. Late just loses the grip, but gets it back, puts it up, and it hits off the front rim at the shot clock buzzer. Caitlin Clark, fadeaway 3, Boston handles the miss. Now Mitchell can't get the pass on the back door. She'll set her feet, though. The 3 ball won't drop. Billings tossed it to Boston, and the whistle coming.
And that was, what, 3 or 4 rebounds in that one possession. So great job from Indiana, really battling it on the glass. Monique Billings providing those second, third chance opportunities.
foul against Emily Inksler. So 3 team fouls against Portland already. Aaliyah Boston got tangled up in the game at Seattle. Did not play in the second half, was forced to leave. So it's good to see her able to go.
Absolutely. You got to remember, too, nursing a lower leg injury from her unrivaled season. So a lot happening there, and she's also not really feeling that well tonight when I talked to her outside, but she said, hey, I'm still here to hoop today.
Carla Late gets into the paint, then dishes it to Inksler, who cans the 3.
Those are the shots that the Fire have to be ready for, because the Fever are going to get a lot of help every time Late attacks the paint. That spray out to the shooters will be there.
Oh, look at that block! Inksler rose high to erase Boston's attempt. And then Carlton with the fadeaway gets fouled, and she'll head to the line.
Amongst the top in the league in shot blocking, that is Emily Inksler. This is why she anchors the defense. This is coming from the help side. She's able to help off of other players and come and help her teammates out. I mean, the timing on it just so perfect. She is a dog on the defensive end.
Yeah, she is absolutely one of the best shot blockers in the WNBA, despite being just 6'1". She has impeccable timing. So the 8-year veteran Bridget Carlton knocks in a pair of free throws. She is a 90% foul shooter this season, top 10 in the league. Caitlin Clark works her way all the way to the rim and banks it in. Takes the bump. She is so tough, sacrificing her body.
Caitlin Clark just on the inbound, almost too easy, just takes it coast to coast. They are looking to force her right, so that is a tougher shot for her, but just better offense for Caitlin Clark.
Now you see the numbers from the game here in Portland. When Portland got the win, it was the foul trouble that just completely took her out of rhythm.
And you saw it, they're trying to switch and get Caitlin Clark in those matchup situations. But one thing I'm seeing from Indiana, they've really adjusted their defense where they're not just switching automatically every time. And there's a lot of help coming from the defense. You'll see them all help on Carla Late. Great job from Carla Late, too, to get the foul.
So the pressure extends. Koch is 6'3", very athletic, the rookie out of Australia who is checking Clark. Now Boston muscles her way all the way for the deuce.
See now for the Fire, that's what they want. They want to get the ball out of Clark and Mitchell's hands, but you cannot let Aaliyah Boston get to the rack that quick, especially from the perimeter.
Lay trying to feed DeLeo, it's taken away. Clark on the move. Loses the handle right to Sophie Cunningham, who knocks in the 3 and then lets the crowd hear about it.
The Fever are so dangerous. You talked about the pace, at least, so dangerous in transition.
This Indiana team can absolutely fill it up from long range. Inksler can too. That is her second made 3 in 2 attempts.
Aaliyah Boston just working out. It started from the three-point line. She found her way to her sweet spot to make that one. And another sweet spot, Sophie Cunningham from 3. You've got to be all over that, especially in transition. But love the answer back from Emily Inksler, who's putting on quite a performance on both ends so far. We've got ourselves quite a ball game when we talk about the offense.
Oh, this has the ability to be an absolute shootout. Both these teams can light it up. Here's Mitchell. That one rattles out. Taya Oblak, the backup point guard, to Late on the floor now. Ball in her hands. And Frida Booner off the bench for the Fire as well. Oblak rises and fires, gets it blocked. Boston got a piece of it. Now she's running the floor. The shot won't drop.
But how about that? A missed shot block from Taya Oblak, but then gets back to stop transition.
A lot of contact. Carlton winds up on the deck. Oblak, three ball, money. Oblak, the 5'8" guard out of Slovenia, a 35-year-old rookie. The oldest rookie in the history of the W, hitting that three. Clark, fadeaway jumper, short. Notch gets inside the lane. And then Cunningham, nearly a steal, but it leaves Oblak open. Might have rushed that one.
She said, all of us role players, we know our role, and it starts with those big three, and we have to do our best to play off of them and make the right reads. And that's the recipe you need for a good, successful team offensively.
Clark tried to feed it inside. It gets poked away, and now Potch running, but he can't handle the pass cleanly. Sarah Williams had position inside, and they whistle. Michaela Timpson, the 6'2" second-year player out of Florida State, whistled for the foul.
Great hustle from Nadia Potch, and you can even hear Sophie Cunningham yelling to her teammates, guys, we got to keep playing, we got to keep playing. Got to hustle for the ball, even if you think it's going out.
So 4 team fouls against the Fever. Sarah Williams, the rookie out of Yukon, hands it off to Potch. Now shoveled inside, Frida Booner. But I believe she stepped on the baseline. It's a turnover.
It was such a great look, but she was nearly running on the baseline on the cut to get that pass.
The Fire love to extend their defense and bring pressure. And they take it away. Oblak ahead to Potch running the floor.
Got to credit excellent defense, Holly Winterburn on Kelsey Mitchell. We talked about one of the toughest players in this league to guard.
It is an 8-0 Portland run. Mitchell pull-up jumper. So smooth.
So smooth. It's automatic.
Inside. Portland with a quick answer back. Billings running the floor. She is so athletic, and Clark gets her the ball.
Transition is so good. You've got a rim runner and three-point shooter spraying out to the outside all the time. It's textbook.
This is Holly Winterburn, the rookie, who gets tangled up with Sophie Cunningham.
That's what the Fire needs to continue doing. How about the defense from Holly Winterburn? Sprays it right out to Nadia Potch, who gets down to the lane. And then the back cut here, Sarah Williams getting it done. Great pass from Taya Oblak. The Fire have really been on top of it on both ends of the floor.
Oblak with a couple of assists off the bench to lead the offense for Portland. They go very deep, and they run. Alex Sarama believes in making his team go as hard as they possibly can in spurts, and then they'll be relieved.
Well, he said it's about 4 to 5 minute spurts where he believes that you can give your all, your 100%, and that's really been the recipe for success in these, especially when you talk about how well they play in the clutch in that fourth quarter because they're able to sustain.
Winterburn splits a pair at the line. Kelsey Mitchell, just one bucket, looking for her first three, and it won't drop. She has been over 20 points, 12 games in a row. Winterburn behind the back, gets all the way to the rim, but can't finish. Heck of a move.
Heck of a move.
Clark gets into the lane and again gets it off the window softly. That is a tough make.
Got to credit Caitlin Clark. A tough bucket from her. You notice the Fire. They're going to continue to shade her right because Clark loves to go left to get that jumper.
Clark deflecting that pass.
Watch, look at Holly Winterburn's feet. She is making sure Caitlin goes right every time, but this is such a tough finish. I mean, this is star power when you talk about offense, to be able to find different solutions and read the defense.
And it's interesting because with Caitlin Clark, she's a right-handed player, but she's so good with the fadeaway three to the left.
It's the same with Kelsey Mitchell. Loves and does a great job going left as well.
Clark thought about the three. Onto the floor now, Ty Harris. Nice spin move inside. That is Timpson.
Timpson really continuing to grow and evolve in her position in this league as well.
And a whistle away from the ball.
Timpson just playing bully ball, and love the patience here with the spin move and the finish. A tough bucket.
Timpson's such a good athlete. My goodness, one of the best plays of the season was that block when she pinned Kalia Copper's shot against the backboard.
Like literally pinned.
That was incredible. Carly Samuelson knocks in the free throw with the bonus with the Fever with 5 team fouls. And nice to see Carly Samuelson, one of the few veterans on this team, the oldest player at 31 years, other than the rookie, Taya Oblak. So I should say most experienced with 8 years in the league, her and Bridget Carlton.
Keep it right. Good, BC.
Caitlin Clark into the lane. And draws the contact. That will be the second personal on the veteran Bridget Carlton. Bridget Carlton has been so huge here in the first year for the Portland Fire. She signed a 3-year max deal after being drafted #1 overall in the expansion draft, coming over from Minnesota.
One thing I will say for Clark, the Fire have been doing a pretty solid job on her defensively, limiting her touches and shot opportunity. But you really credit the Fever. Everybody that's in the game pretty much scored a bucket, so you see it going around.
Carla Late winds up on the deck, and that foul will be against Caitlin Clark.
Another look here, yeah, got her with the reach there. Then Carla Late gets tripped up. I mean, that's the target. That was the recipe for success for the Fire in that last matchup. Find ways to get Caitlin Clark in a one-on-one situation, especially with Late, who does such a great job getting a defender on her hip.
That is the second personal on Caitlin Clark, which was a huge storyline when Portland was able to beat Indiana. She had to sit and watch.
I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, it was as soon as it got to #2, Stephanie White pulled her out of the game, and it made a huge difference. But it looks like she's leaving her in. A lot of trust and development since that game for Clark.
6 points, 3 boards here in the first quarter for CC. Here's Boston. Powers her way, but the shot won't drop. And Carla Late holds up her hand to say, let's get a good shot with about 5 seconds difference between the game and shot. Late to Samuelson, long 3 off the heel. Oh, and then DeLeo just strips it from Clark. Behind the back, Inksler, yes! What an exclamation point to end their final possession of the first quarter. So 4.2 seconds for Indiana to try to get a good look. Clark, yes! What a shot! And she was fouled. A lot of